pits race like Ricky needed to win last week. And I get the feeling cruising around the pits and with talking to Carmichael that Jeremy has something to lose here. If he doesn't win this race, it's not good for him. He needs to win this, whereas Ricky, if he finishes second, well, that's all right. He kept pace in a place where Jeremy is awesome. If he can beat Jeremy here, Jeremy's got a problem.
Taking a look at the standings, it's all knotted up at the top, and you can't get it any better than that, David.
No, it's tight. I love it. This is what we've all been dreaming of, somebody that can step up and challenge McGrath. Ricky will not leave him alone. He is tough. He thinks he can win this championship, and you know, I've never seen this much anticipation for round 5. This sold out faster than the first round did.
The third member of our telecasting crew, Davey Coombs, caught up with the king of Anaheim in the pits earlier.
Well, tonight here at Anaheim, Jeremy McGrath has a chance to set yet another record. He can become the first person ever to win 3 main events in one season in the same stadium, and that's right here at Anaheim. Jeremy, can you get 3 in a row? Can you sweep Anaheim for 2001?
Well, I think I have a good chance. Anaheim's a great place for me to race. You know, I've had some awesome wins here, and I mean, in fact, I think in 125s I won everything here too. So, you know, I just get pumped up for the home crowd, and yeah, I think I have a good chance at it.
As far as your main rival, Ricky Carmichael, goes, I have to ask you a strategy question. Are you going to lay back and wait for Ricky to maybe start making mistakes, or do you have another gear you're going to pick up?
Well, you know, Ricky's riding a great season so far, and you know, from what I've seen, he's somewhat on the edge a little bit, and I think what I need to do is make sure I apply pressure all the time. You know, I'm not going to sit back and wait for him to make mistakes. That's kind of not my strategy, and it's never been. So, you know, I want to just continue to try and win races, but you know, what's really depressing me is that the tracks are super easy. I mean, anyone can ride these tracks, and you know, so everyone's going fast.
Last year, Jeremy was in a similar situation with David Villeman, 2-2 after 4 races, and he went on to win 5 races in a row. Anaheim could be the start of one of those streaks.
With McGrath and Carmichael trading wins week after week, do you suspect, David, anybody out there to throw a monkey wrench into this thing?
I don't know. These guys are pretty overwhelmed by what they're seeing out front, but there's usually 4 guys. LaRocco's got a broken foot. It's a shifting foot. He's going to have to just tough this thing out. Lusk looks good. Wyndham looks good. Villeman looks good. Villeman is better with his ribs. He's stronger. I don't think he has the strength to go all the way. That last 5 laps would be tough. Wyndham, he hasn't proven to us that he can be tough in those last 5 laps. So until I see it, I'm going to go with Ezra Lusk, who beat Jeremy here the last time and looked good out there today.
And looking at the Speed Stick track map, Dirtworks, you got to hand it to him. A nice different track.
They've done an outstanding job here, Art. The 3rd time to Anaheim, a completely different layout. You see the start right there in the center. Goes into a tight left-hander. This is on board earlier today with John Sebastian Waugh. He decides to go left. There's an option in this first loop section. See the hay bales in the middle. Those Scott Tough blocks. He goes left, protects the inside. The next section through here is just a whole bunch of different plateaus and pyramids and jumps, different rhythms through there, into a raised up left for the next whoop section. Right here, if you don't get your timing right, you can't clear this double. If you can't clear that, you can't do this triple into the corner. Waugh clears it perfect. Do a bowl corner, a tricky rhythm section on top of this plateau. You got to get over that bump to have a run at this triple. Then they work their way down into home plate. This is where home plate would be when the Angels play. Another rhythm section onto that plateau. Got to get over that bump to make this triple. Look at the height. And he jumps to the inside and protects that line. This is the only place on the racetrack I can see where you can rest. Everywhere else is very busy. This jump is spectacular when they jump the whole thing and land right there. Tight right-hander to the finish line plateau, and when they make this right, they'll get the signal from their mechanics and keep on going.
It's standing room only at Edison International Field. Ricky Carmichael, Jeremy McGrath looking for a showdown later on, but first of all, the top 4 out of each qualifying heat have to qualify for the main, and they can go directly to the main if they're in the top 4. Out of the semifinals, it's the top 5, and then 2 come out of the last chance qualifier, making our 20-rider gate. Given the first heat, it's McGrath, LaRocco, Villeman, Moncada, Ferry, Byrne, Tortelli, Casey Johnson, just to name a few.
Wow, Jeremy getting sideways right there, gave up the whole shot.
Mike Brown, number 100. And Mike LaRocco, a great start in 2nd place. It's Byrne out in front with 990 on his plate. LaRocco is in 2nd. Ron Cotta and Jeremy McGrath are battling it out along with Villeman. Oh, we get a nice pack up front.
You know, that all looks like Byrne.
That's Byrne, number 990, yes.
McGrath looks like he's going up around the outside of him. got a little anxious.
Villeman makes the pass to the inside of LaRocco. David Villeman, who's coming back from that rib injury. And LaRocco is feeling the pains of 2 metatarsal bones on top of the left foot as he drops back to third.
Yeah, threw off his concentration a little bit. He couldn't jump the sections leading to the triple, couldn't do the triple, just gave it all up.
And Jeremy moves into second place now in our qualifying heat.
I've raced with a broken foot before. I've had the same thing. I know how LaRocco feels. The guy's tough, but man, when you got something bothering you, you just can't run up front. It's too fast these days.
Villeman, McGrath, Run, Cotta, LaRocco, Casey Johnson, the top 5. Remember, only the top 4 advance to the main event. Villeman through the loops, number 934.
So far, so a little mistake. I was about to say, so far, so good for Villeman, but just blew it.
And the crowd goes crazy. Pulled up, and they collide. But Villeman stays up. Jeremy McGrath goes into the lead. Ron Cotta takes second. Villeman in third, with LaRocco in fourth.
That was just, these guys got their wires crossed a little bit. And can't believe neither one of them went down. Check this out again. Villeman going to the inside, sensing Jeremy there. Good job for both of those guys to keep it upright. Last week in Phoenix, the same thing happened between McGrath and Lusk. Neither one of these guys went down. So how's that for balance?
So Jeremy McGrath now in the lead of this qualifying heat, with Ron Cotta stepping it up a notch from Team Kawasaki.
This is a good track for Stefan. Good track for Jeremy and Lusk and Villeman. You got to be really technical. Watch these guys. They can set their front wheel down in exactly the right place, or they can't do the double triple there.
Villeman now back into second place, getting by Ron Cotta.
How frustrating it must be for these guys to be riding their best and getting just smoked by McGrath. He's just pulling away little by little.
Well, the top 4 have separated themselves from Tim Ferry on the bubble. Tim Ferry on the 4-stroke Yamaha. There's Villeman, 934, going over the finish line jump. Ron Cotta right behind him, number 21. Ron Cotta, a 125 Supercross champion last year. Oh, spin out, Villeman. And LaRocco even gets by him. So Villeman must start over, and it's going to be close on that bubble. Look at Ferry. Ferry gets in front of Villeman. Oh, Villeman might have to go to the semifinals now.
That's all it takes. One little mistake. And I'll tell you what, yesterday the guys were talking about, the track's too easy. You know what? It's not, obviously. Check out Villeman again. Hit the sideways, approaching the first corner. Trying to get into that inside option in the loop section. Cuts it a little bit too tight. That's where Jeremy got sideways in the first corner off the start. Gave up the whole shot.
Villeman's had the fastest lap, 56.45 seconds, but you can't make mistakes like that.
I was about to say, Ferry can just sense a wounded duck, and LaRocco should be able to move up into the qualifying position. Now he doesn't have to worry about it.
4 laps to go. Let's see which riders, 4 riders, qualify for the main event when we come back to Anaheim.
Hey, Tortilli. How about an autograph?
Look, this is a dirty fuel injector. This is a clean one. As you can see, cleaner works better. That's why I use STP fuel injector cleaner in my car. I add STP every time I change my oil. STP, it's basic car maintenance.
2 eager CEOs. One encouraged his employees to read the Wall Street Journal. The other did not. Let's join them for their 5-year anniversaries and see what happened. Imagine what the Journal could do for you. It's now easier to get the Journal to help you. Get 8 weeks of the Wall Street Journal for just 37 cents a day. That's 50% off the regular rate. Call 800-469-1600. That's 800-469-1600 for the Wall Street Journal.
You can travel the world, climb over mountains, cross the widest deserts. There's only one place you'll find deals like these. Now at your Honda dealer, with your Honda card, get no down payment. on all our new sport and utility ATVs. And low monthly payments, as low as $79 on the Ranger for the first 2 years. Deals to move on. It's time to move.
I'm Dan Patrick here in the ESPN Radio Chopper. Radio marketing is all about promotions. That's why we're blanketing the country with these ESPN radio bats. So tune in, and if you happen to catch one of these bats, enjoy! EA Sports Supercross, presented by Speed Stick, and brought to you by Suzuki, the reigning AMA 125 National Motocross and Arena Cross champion. By the completely new EA Sports Supercross, now available for your PlayStation. EA Sports, it's in the game. And by Honda, the company that defines performance on two wheels. Performance first.
Welcome back to EA Sports Supercross, presented by Speed Stick. And our leader here in the qualifying round is #1, Jeremy McGrath. He's got a huge lead. Let's go down to Davey Combs.
Well, down here in the mechanics area, everyone's waiting to see if Jeremy's head's going to explode. What I mean by that is every year Troy Lee does something cool with Jeremy's helmet here at Anaheim. And for the opening ceremonies, he came out, he was actually wired with pyrotechnics. The problem was they never went off, so Jeremy didn't get to like light the fireworks or anything like that. I don't think he has them on right now, but it would have been a great show. But as it is, we'll just have to settle for a big knack-knack.
Be careful, Davey, when you get on that podium, man. It might go off right in the middle of your interview. #1, Jeremy McGrath. It's Roncada, LaRocco, Villeman, and Ferry in that order. The white flag is out. We are on the last lap.
Jeremy's still running consistent lap times, maintaining his lead over these guys.
Here's the battle for second. LaRocco trying to make a move. LaRocco with pain shooting up through his foot with those broken bones in his foot, trying to catch up with Stefan Roncada. And right behind him is David Villeman.
Villeman, you remember, he got sideways, lost his rhythm, but he had posted the fastest lap, faster than Jeremy by a couple of tenths to get back in this fight.
The battle has been behind Jeremy McGrath in our qualifying round. Jeremy McGrath takes the checkered flag. Stefan Roncada, Mike LaRocco, Villeman, a good battle for second. Jeremy taking the goggles off. So far, no pyrotechnics. And David Villeman going up to say, hey, what about that bump?
Yeah, I think that what they're discussing right now is Villeman's going, hey, I didn't mean to cut you off. That was an unintentional thing. And Jeremy was committed. He's going, hey, no problem. We stayed up. I won.
Taking a look at the Honda results page, it's McGrath, Roncada, LaRocco, Villeman qualifying to the main event. Tim Ferry and others going to the semifinals. Let's go down to Davey.
First of all, Jeremy, you should make sure you're not wired there. No pyrotechnics.
Yeah, I took the pyrotechnics off for after the open ceremonies there, and I had this chart. I was going to light off some flash paper, but I don't know if I touched it or didn't touch it enough or whatever, but I was a little nervous to getting that Michael Jackson thing going there.
About the heat race, you went in the first turn kind of hot, so slick.
I came out of the line incredible. I mean, my bike was working good. Those Bridgestone tires were hooking up, and you know, this is my point. This week, I need to get good starts, and last week I was sleeping, and I had a great start, but I just didn't brake enough to control the first corner and let it get away from me. So if I can do another one like that in the final and control the first corner, I'll be styling.
Last question. After the race, Villeman came over. At first, I thought he was going to apologize. Your team manager, Larry Brooks, said it wasn't exactly an apology.
Yeah, I guess he was a little hot. You know, I don't understand why he's mad. You know, I was just on the inside of him over that triple, and I was staying straight, and I thought he was going to stay straight, and he jumped to the right inside of me, and we kind of collided there, and I think he was a little bummed out at me.
Jeremy, good luck in the main.
All right, thanks.
Ricky Carmichael has Ezra Lusk and others to contend with before any matchup with Jeremy McGrath. That's coming up next. This is EA Sports Supercross, presented by Speed Stick.
Every town should have one, a place to go when you need a break. South Street Under is that place at Market Station in Leesburg. Perfect for meeting friends, conducting business, or making a pit stop while biking the trail. And at the center of Market Station is South Street Under's deck seating, an ideal place to take advantage of Virginia's beautiful weather. South Street Under, located underneath Tuscarora Mill in Market Station, Leesburg. It's a little hard to find, but once you go there, it's easy to remember.
These guys are different. I mean, you can tell. They take pride in what they do. They moved our entire family, everything we own, across the country. Now that's a big job. I was worried, but they got us there on time. They made a promise, and they kept it. They're JK Moving and Storage. I know, it's not rocket science, but they treat it like it is. JK Moving and Storage. These guys are different. They really care.
Tonight on ESPN, a hoops doubleheader. At 7, Seton Hall takes on Syracuse. At 9, Oklahoma tips off with Texas. And at 11, Sports Center. On ESPN2 at 6, women's hoops with Texas and Texas Tech. At 8, The Light. At 8:30, the Blues and Avalanche. And at 11:30, NHL Tonight with scores and news on the bottom line. And on ESPN Classic at 6, NBA All-Star Roadshow. At 8, Johnny Unitas. And at 9, the Isles and Canucks in Game 4 of the '82 Stanley Cup Finals. Do you have all the ESPN networks?
How could you vote for anyone else as the EA Sports Writer of the Week? It was a must-win situation for Ricky Carmichael last weekend in Phoenix, and he came through big time. Trailing Jeremy McGrath by just 3 points, RC took the early lead and blistered the field, besting McGrath in second place by over 15 seconds. The victory gives him 3 career Supercross wins, and more importantly, a share of the points lead once again. Now his sights are firmly set on tonight's race in Anaheim.
Hopefully I can be on top this weekend. It's tough. You know, we're both doing really well right now. We're both riding really good, and we both have to be on par that night to win. A lot of people look at Jeremy and just automatically, you know that they can't beat him. And I've been wanting to win for a long time in Supercross, and I mean, anybody can be beaten. I mean, anybody can.
Our rider of the week is in this qualifying heat, Ricky Carmichael, who is tied with Jeremy McGrath in points, along with Ezra Lusk, Kevin Windham, Nicholas Way, and Nathan Ramsey, 2 125 East riders who have really made their mark and are in the top 10. There's Ricky, number 4.
He looks ready, doesn't he? Sign's going to go sideways any second. It does.
They're revving up. Qualifying heat number 2 is underway from Anaheim, California. Ezra Lusk got a good break. Ezra Lusk and Ricky Carmichael battling out. Ricky Carmichael takes the lead out of the first turn. Lusk in second place has got a battle on his hands.
Well, a moment ago, Carmichael and Windham were side by side. Now Windham's at the back of the pack after that slide out in the first corner. And I'll tell you what, Jeremy didn't really answer that question about how slick it was. That's your answer. Look how slippery it is. Carmichael and Windham get out of there great. Windham starts to fall back a little bit. Tries to squeeze something out of it. It's not there. It's too slippery. That main event's going to be interesting.
And it's Michael Craig in third as Lusk now has moved into second behind Ricky Carmichael.
That's my favorite section on the track. Look at this. So much airtime.
Ricky out in front now. We look for him to pull away, even with Ezra Lusk there, maybe. And there's number 39. And that's Michael Craig on a Planet Honda from El Cajon, California. He likes the slick stuff.
Oh, the slipperier the better for Mike. And I'll tell you what, he was fast in practice. And he was throwing the bike so sideways in the air off everything. So obviously feeling comfortable out there. You don't see these guys horsing around up in the air unless they're feeling good.
Lusk, number 11, coming through the whoops. 39 is Michael Craig, number 26. Top privateer from last year. Having a little trouble there in the whoops. That's Voss, Heath Voss. Ezra Lusk in second behind Ricky Carmichael. Lusk, the second winningest active Supercross rider, and that's just what he needs soon to make a definitive move on the leaders. He needs a win.
Now, what would really help him get the confidence to go after that win in the main event is to be able to keep the pace with Carmichael, not let him get too far away. If anything, try to close the gap just a little bit.
It was just a bad break right here in Anaheim that has kind of delayed him from getting up there with the contenders. He was doing well in his comeback from the broken shoulder until that last race here.
Well, he's due for a good one. Second at the opener here. You know, the last time Jeremy was beaten here, it was by Ezra. He likes this hard, slick stuff. It's the same dirt they've used for the past 4 or 5 years.
Ezra, one of 5 to get more than one win in Anaheim, and our broadcasting partner is one of them, David Bailey. Ricky Carmichael, number 4, continues to lead. This is EA Sports Supercross from Anaheim.
It's time for Suzuki Fest 2001, Suzuki's main sales event. This Suzuki Fest is the biggest ever, with over 20 different motorcycles and ATVs to choose from. Right now, you can get up to $400 in your choice of free accessories. Choose from helmets, jackets, winches, backpacks, anything you want when you buy a select Suzuki motorcycle or ATV. Plus, get great financing too. Go to your participating Suzuki dealer by April 30th and come out riding.
It's a weekend of women's hoops action. Tonight, Texas's Lady Longhorns look to end Texas Tech's dominance at home. Tomorrow, ACC leading scorer LaQuanda Barksdale leads Carolina against Virginia's Lady Cavs. Texas Tech tonight at 6. North Carolina, Virginia tomorrow at 4 on ESPN2, home of the NCAA Championship.
We're continuing with our second qualifying heat of the 250s. Ricky Carmichael has just set a blistering pace, David.
McGrath, who's won the first heat, is checking that out. He better be, because Carmichael is going 55, a half a second faster than McGrath. A little squirrely right there. The takeoff is slick. He's starting to slide around here and there. It just doesn't bother the guy.
Let's take another look at how slippery it really is and the kind of speed this guy's in.
This is right after the finish line. You see his outside foot slips off the peg. That's the foot you want to put a lot of weight on the outside peg so you don't slide out like that. Ricky doesn't even let off. He just holds it wide open, tries to get out of there a little quicker.
I don't remember too many times that Jeremy McGrath has waited to watch the second heat.
Well, they got video cameras and headsets and all the notes and everything is caught on tape. So there's no secret out there, but I think this time it matters to Jeremy. There he is. He wants to see everything that's going on. Probably had a few questions about whether some of those option sections, what's the fastest rhythm through there. And right now, Ricky seems to be setting the pace. He will have first pick to the gate for the main because all of his laps have been faster than Jeremy.
White flag, last lap.
In fact, I'll tell you what, this is how slippery it is. Carmichael went over that jump, looked down at his rear tire going, do I have a flat? It's that bad.
Looks like a flat tracker at times coming around that corner, but as you say, Ricky it doesn't bother him.
No, he can get all squirrely, and then you go up and mention something to him, and he doesn't even remember which turn, what do you mean? It's something I would have remembered.
This is the final transfer spot with Heath Voss in 4th. The privateer, as we go back to Ricky Carmichael in the lead.
I'll tell you what, one guy we're not seeing much of here because he's kind of been sort of buried in the pack is Wyndham. He's come all the way up through the pack. He's sitting in 3rd right now, and he's posted laps as fast as Jeremy has on a slick surface. Remember Wyndham in Dallas. This guy can ride this stuff.
Wyndham was as far back as 9th. Here's Ricky Carmichael. He salutes the fans and takes the checkers. Here's the transfer battle. Nick Way, number 23, trying to catch up with Heath Voss. Heath Voss, number 26, on the Honda, and Nick Way has taken the advantage in the final transfer spot. The top 4 going directly to the main event. Looks like Heath Voss will have to go to the semifinal round. But a remarkable ride for Keith Wyndham in 3rd. The checkers, Voss coming across knowing that he's got another race before he qualifies. Let's take a look at the Suzuki results page right now as Ricky Carmichael simply dominated, would get the first choice of gate with the fastest lap times. Ezra Laska, even though he went down, he got back and had enough a lead to hold on to 2nd place. Kevin Wyndham in 3rd, Nick Way in 4th. The rest on their way to the semis. Let's go down trackside to Davey.
Ricky, I know that Rich Winkler and these guys built this track with some old school flavor. You look like you're old school back at the Mini-O's riding TT out there.
Yeah, it was fun, Davey. The track is pretty good. It's a lot of people are saying it's easy, but you know what? Everybody's got to ride the same track, and if it's easy for one person, it's easy for the next. And I'll tell you what, I felt good. I got a good start and felt really good.
Well, your rival, Jeremy McGrath, was out there watching your race. One thing he's going to take back to the pits with him is the fact that your heat race was 11 seconds faster.
Well, I got a good start. I think he got behind on the start there, and that makes up a lot of time right there. But I'm feeling good. Chevy trucks, Kawasaki's working good, and I just need to get a good start in the main because that first turn is a little scary. So a start will be important.
Good luck tonight.
Thanks a lot, Davey. Thank you.
Looks like it comes down to the start, but the stage is set right now. Ricky Carmichael with the quickest time out of the qualifying heat. This is EA Sports Supercross presented by Speed Stick.
Supercross. With moves like these, you need protection that won't quit. Speed Stick Ultimate. Powerful, long-lasting protection to keep you covered, even if there are some bumps in the road. So go for it. You've got the heavy-duty protection you need as you blaze your own trail. Speed Stick Ultimate.
A great tradition continues on ESPN2. Friday Night Fights. This week's main event, Billy Irwin takes on Mike Griffith in a 10-round lightweight battle. Friday Night Fights, Friday at 9 on ESPN2.
Welcome back to Anaheim, California. Don't forget, you can hear every Supercross live on ESPN.com, the Saturday night webcast with Chad Damiani and Jim Holley. Also, check out the columns from the various people that are writing about Supercross. You might check out my bar-to-bar column, in fact, posted twice a week on ESPN.com. Our Davey Coombs, well, you know, there's several riders warming up in the 250 division for next week's 125 East Series opener, and a couple of them are in the top 10 in the 250 rankings. Davey Coombs caught up with them.
Yeah, I'm down here with a couple top 10 250 class riders, but you know what? You probably won't see them again in the 250 class after this weekend in Anaheim, at least not for a while, because Nathan Ramsey and Nick Way of the Yamaha Troy team are getting ready to drop down to the 125 class for the East region. First of all, Nathan, you've been riding the YZ 426. You're going to drop down to the YZ 250. How big of a difference do you think that's going to be?
Well, you know, it's not too hard going from the 426 to the 250F, but it's a little bit harder vice versa going 250 426. So it's not too bad. I've been riding it during the week, and I feel like that thing's really light when I get on it.
How about you, Nick? You finished in the top 10 in all 4 of these races, and you got to be feeling good about your chances in the 125 East when you ride the YZ 125.
Yeah, I broke in my race bike there yesterday, and can't believe how fast it was. I've been riding it an awful lot. You know, I've just been spending most of my time riding the 125 and practicing a little bit on 250. And, you know, I'm really looking forward to Indy next weekend.
Well, we'll see these guys again, but it will be in the 125 class. This is the last time in the 250 class for Nate and Nick.
Well, David Bailey, it's always good to see guys coming up through the ranks, but, you know, Ramsey and Way, if they point out of the 125s next year, they'll have to go to 250s. It's a good eye-opener for teams looking at them.
Yeah, you know what, and they've both done a super job of getting up there in the top 10, staying there, making the main events, and I talked to those guys today, and I was like, hey, which one of you guys is going to get in the top 5 this week? Because they really wanted to try to do that. That was their goal before going to the 125 East, and Way goes, hey, don't bag on me in the show now if I squirrel out trying hard to get that 5th.
Check out EA Sports Supercross in person. Our next event will be in Atlanta on the 24th with sellouts like this one here tonight. The rule, not the exception. Do call Ticketmaster now for your favorite seats. Let's take a look now at the highlights of the semifinal rounds in the 250s. First of all, in that first one, Jeff Emmig's rider. Jeff Emmig, now a manager, team owner. Michael Byrne did a good job staying out in front for the victory, especially when Tim Ferry, in leading the race, went down with 3 laps to go.
Well, you know, it looked like they were having a great battle, and Ferry looked like he was the faster of everyone, but a mistake in the whoop section just caught him right off guard, but he was able to get back and preserve. I thought he was going to have to go to the last chance qualifier trying to get that bike restarted, so he did a good job to recover, but I'm pretty impressed with Byrne. This guy, I haven't seen him much, and he is really lighting it up.
Tortelli crashed in the first turn, came from last all the way back to second place.
That was impressive, you know, and Ferry's crash helped him, you know, it probably would have been third, but still, as soon as Tortelli went down the first corner, I thought, boy, what a year he's having. You know, this has just been horrible. And it's not it doesn't show with the talent that he had. He just had bad luck. He's been trying to ride while injured, and that just shows that he really wants to be out there and trying.
In the second semifinal, the veteran Steve Lampson got out of control, but there was a good battle going on. We had some veteran privateers in that assortie, like Heath Voss, Robbie Raynard, Michael Craig, Kyle Lewis. They were all going at it, and then it came down to the last lap.
That was a great move, and it just looked like Raynard wanted a little bit more than Voss did. Voss got past kind of the same way. That's what sent him to the semi in the first place. It looked like he just kind of let his guard down a little bit. And Raynard's had a tough season so far, so he's like, hey, he treated it like the main event.
Robbie Raynard on his way to his best qualifying race of the season. Taking a look ahead on ESPN2, the 250 class. Round 6 from Indianapolis plays on Saturday the 17th, 1 p.m. Eastern. 125s on the very next day at 11:30 p.m. Eastern, 8:30 Pacific time. More 250 action when we return.
More riders. More classes. More championships. More than ever. Suzuki. Rising stars to superstars.
We could show you a lot of things about Haviland Extended Life Antifreeze, like a beautiful pour shot, or say it lasts 5 times longer than most conventional coolants. But we'd never say you have to use it. We wouldn't. GM did. GM just issued a bulletin stating you should only use Dexcool-approved technology in your GM vehicle. Dexcool-compatible coolants are not to be used in vehicles built with Dexcool and could void the warranty. Dexcool-approved Haviland Extended Life Antifreeze. It protects your cooling system and your GM warranty.
What will the credit card of the future look like?
Think of the possibilities.
The world's changing.
We'll need a card that can change with it.
What will a credit card look like that has an introductory rate of 0% and then a fixed rate as low as 10.99%?
Definitely not like anything in my wallet.
That has no annual fee and gives you the flexibility to pay over time.
So, I'll be able to extend the payments on my new lunar vacation?
What will a credit card look like that provides guaranteed protection from online fraud?
I don't know.
But I think it has my name on it.
A card with a built-in smart chip to give it ever-evolving capabilities. And Blue Loot, the free rewards program.
That makes other credit cards seem so...
20th century. Actually, it'll look like this. Blue from American Express.
We really do live in an interesting time.
I'll call today. To apply, call 1-800-600-BLUE.
I have seen the future.
And it fits in my wallet.
It's a full weekend of speed. The Wrenchhead.com National Road Race Series, sanctioned by Formula USA. It's a 140 miles per hour festival of speed, featuring the Lockhart Phillips Unlimited Superbike Series. California, April 22nd, Virginia, July 1st, Pocono, August 26th, and Portland, September 6th. Go to FormulaUSA.com now for more info.
This week's Honda Flashback, we turn back to last year, Anaheim, round number 2. The Frenchman Villemin took the whole shot. Jeremy McGrath, winner in round 1, gets away cleanly, moving into second. Now McGrath and Villemin pulled away, forming their own battle. Jeremy makes a clean pass, giving Villemin a good look-see. Villemin hung on to second, a preview to winning the next 2 races, while Ricky Carmichael tried fending off the always late-charging Mike LaRocco. LaRocco had the whoops dialed, taking over the final podium spot. Jeremy McGrath sweeps Anaheim with helmet tassels a-wiggling. That's this week's Honda Flashback.
Welcome back to EA Sports Supercross, presented by Speed Stick. And you can almost feel it in this great sellout standing room only crowd, with Ricky Carmichael really sending a message in the qualifying round to Jeremy McGrath.
Absolutely, 11 seconds faster than Jeremy's. But the thing that's interesting about that, Art, is that Lusk and Wyndham were keeping pace with him. So all those guys are on the same pace with McGrath.
As we take a look at the Suzuki starting lineup, Kevin Wyndham, there's Nick Way, the 125 rider, David Villemin, who had his problems with Jeremy McGrath during the qualifying, Sebastian Tortelli, getting into that starting lineup. Michael Craig looking good. Tim Ferry. Kyle Lewis, the old veteran. Pavoni, his first main event in the 250s this year for Blackfoot Honda. Nathan Ramsey and Steve Lapson getting in out of the LCQ. There's Ricky Carmichael, number 4. And right next to him, Jeremy McGrath.
But Ricky's got the inside. He always likes to ask him, I go, what do you do in a tight corner like this? He goes, I always go inside. I go, well, why does Jeremy go to the outside, you think? He goes, because he's so confident. We'll see now how that pays off. I'd rather be Ricky.
We'll see if you're right. As the cameras zoom in on 4 and number 1, we are set for round number 5 of 250 action. Jeremy McGrath gets the bead, and Carmichael has a difficult start. Jeremy McGrath securing the lead, and right there behind him is number 23 Nick Way and Ezra Lusk. Kevin Windham in 4th.
This might be a little bit of a peek into the future of this series. McGrath does what he has to do when he has to do it. This is huge. Look at Carmichael buried in the pack. If he can even see McGrath pretty soon, I'll be surprised. By the time he can get into second, Jeremy should be gone.
He's in 9th, similar to how Jeremy had to react last week.
Yep. Yeah, roles reversed. See how Ricky can handle this. Fastest guy doesn't always win.
So after the first lap, it's Jeremy McGrath coming across first. Ezra Lusk, Kevin Windham battling it out with Nick Way. He wins that battle. Robbie Raynard, number 17, is next on the list. David Milliman, Ron Cotta, and then Ricky Carmichael in 8th.
Check out Windham, though. He rode really fast in the heat race, and he's coming from behind right now, so nerves shouldn't be a problem. He'll be able to apply the pressure. The more slippery the track is, the better for him.
That could be the key, the condition of the track, as we go through a 20-lap main event.
This is where Ricky's got to be real careful. He can clip one of these guys' back tires or misjudge what they're going to do and ruin his whole main event.
He looked on the other side of the track to see where Jeremy McGrath was, and Ricky Carmichael is on the move. Coming off that big triple, what a shot.
Well, you know, Jeremy's out front right now going, yeah, okay, if I can stay out here and Ricky can't get into second, that's big points that he might not be able to make back up. But that's what Ricky was thinking last week, and Jeremy still got up to second.
Jeremy McGrath holding that lead by 1.1 seconds, as you see there.
Beautiful block pass Ricky put on Billiman right there. He's getting through the pack. The next guy in his sights is Nick Way, who's not up to the challenge, I don't think, in the pace of Carmichael. He should be able to pick him off. Then his next guy would be Windham.
This is not like a heat race with just a very few laps. This is a long one where endurance plays a big part. Jeremy McGrath has to keep up a fast pace with really nobody pressing him right now.
Yeah, Ricky told me he thought this could come down to a physical race because the track is so busy. They're approaching after the triple where Jeremy and these guys are. This is the easiest part of the track, but the only place to rest. So, yeah, these guys can get tired.
He might have a 2.2-second lead right now, but I'll tell you, Ezra Lusk is not that far behind.
And look at Kevin. Still with these guys. The longer he can stay right there and see Jeremy that close, the better he's going to feel. He's been making some headway. He's getting in better shape. He's working with a new guy. And he's disappointed with his results more than you know. He really wants to get up there and prove that he can run with these guys. He needs it for his own confidence and to show everybody, hey, I'm not out there just riding around. I care about this.
Ezra Lusk is picking up some room on Jeremy McGrath, the leader. Number 11 on Team Honda. Boy, would he love to get his 3rd victory here at Anaheim.
Jeremy really needs to hold these guys off, though, to get those points on Carmichael. Carmichael already up into 4th. Phenomenal so far.
Windham's about 3 seconds back, David, but Carmichael is on the move in 4th as well. Just like turning the tables from last week in Phoenix.
I think Jeremy knew that. He seemed in some interviews and watching him a little bit, he seemed to be a little bit bothered by all the people talking about how great Ricky is. He's going, come on, he's won 2 races. I've won 72.
Incredible lap just put in by Ricky Carmichael. 55.4.
That's the fastest lap so far. He's going to need to keep putting those in to catch this pack. And he's going to use a lot of energy doing that. So when he gets up there, passing him will be a different story if he's got anything left.
One of the keys would be more pressure from Lusk and Wyndham.
Jeremy can feel those guys back there, but he's pretty patient. He knows he doesn't need to pull away. He just needs to inch away little by little, break their spirit, make them start thinking about, well, second wouldn't be bad. Next thing you know, they got Carmichael breathing down their neck, and Jeremy's in the clear.
We're here at the biggest deal of the year, party time at Page Time, and they're kicking things off with a blast. For a limited time, get a free numeric pager. Get the message? They're free. Plus, get a huge local coverage area and 2 months of free voicemail.
What a great way to keep in touch with friends and family.
But hurry, this party is just about over. It's simple. It's Page Time.
Bungalow Billiards, featuring the hottest brews, the baddest food, cool pool, and fine cigars. 2 locations to serve you, Chantilly and Sterling, and coming soon to Arlington, Virginia.
It starts in your fingers and toes and travels through your whole body, man. And you can't help but smile as you realize it's time again. That feeling of continual bliss that will last the next 5 months.
I dig it, baby. Villanova, Georgetown at 7. Kansas, Baylor at 9. Utah, UNLV at midnight. Big Monday presented by Bud Light. Monday on ESPN2.
Welcome back to EA Sports Supercross presented by Speed Stick. Ricky Carmichael, number 4, is getting it on. Jeremy McGrath still the leader in the whoop section. Lusk, number 11. Wyndham, number 14 are close. And Carmichael is looking to make his move on Wyndham. Many times we've seen Carmichael come from way back in motocross, but to pick up so much time on McGrath, wow, this is amazing. Ricky's even taken the long way around this time.
That shows some confidence. He's going, yeah, maybe I'll lose a little bit of time here, but I don't want to follow the guy, and I'll just make it back up.
Once again, getting close. The crowd sensing it. The crowd, I don't think, is watching Jeremy McGrath at all. I think they're watching number 4, Ricky Carmichael. He's come up from 9th place, getting shut off at the start. Carmichael to the inside, but Wyndham gets a good slingshot out of the berm.
Now the guys are talking about the track being easy. I don't think it's easy. It's really tricky, but what might make it a little bit difficult, and these guys talking about being a little bit on the easy side, is passing. Ricky's going to have to get physical, get in there and bump, I believe, to get by these guys.
Ricky kept up his end of the rivalry last week, leading every lap, taking away with it, while McGrath came up through the field from 9th place to 2nd. Now Ricky Carmichael tries to reverse the order. After a slow start, he's moved into 4th. Quicker than McGrath could move up the ranks last week.
The end result is what matters the most. And the thing that Ricky's got to be happy about is, look at this.
Inside, Carmichael, can he hold it on that slippery surface? Yes. He takes the same outside whoop section. Look at it in front. Lusk goes down. Ricky gets around him.
Unbelievable.
Lusk, another bad break.
He was trying to do a little something different around that left rider. Look at him. He's just dazed going, come on. Can I have a little bit of luck?
And Ricky Carmichael now is all of a sudden in 2nd place.
Watch Ezra. He's going for the inside line around this left rider through the whoop section. You can hear all this noise back there. Got a little anxious. He's going, I need to get by this guy now. Gets a little sideways. The front wheel drops, and hope somebody got a picture of that.
They were trying to get around Sebastian Waugh.
That's the perfect endo. He landed right on that Scott Tuck block, so that was a nice kind of cushion the blow, but the bike didn't help out much.
Good thing for helmets. Great helmets this day and age. And Ricky Carmichael in 2nd. 4.1 seconds back.
Now the last lap, though, Art, this is where Jeremy, he knows what's going on back there. He doesn't want to give this race up. If he loses this race to Carmichael, in my opinion, that's a huge statement. should be a real problem for him in the races to come. And the last lap, Jeremy went 55.6, Carmichael 57.7. So maybe Ricky, yeah, that was a good run to get to here, but getting by Jeremy is another story.
The points lead has never been more than 3 separating these two riders. Let's go to Davey.
Hey, check it out, you guys. This is Ezra Lust's back wheel. Yogi's okay. He's actually standing next to me, but check it out. His chain snapped. That's what he says sent him over the handlebars. You don't see a DNF like that very often. Certainly not at that speed in the whoops. Terrible break for Ezra Lust in the Honda.
That's the worst break I saw for Ezra since he got involved with the hay bale cover that one time. Tough lots cover.
I don't know what's going on. Something's weird over there because Ezra just seems to find bad luck, or it finds him.
9 laps to go. We're less than halfway through our main event in round number 5. Tied in points coming into the race, Jeremy McGrath and Ricky Carmichael. Jeremy McGrath trying to uphold his end of this back-and-forth winning battle every other week and regain a 3-point lead.
He needs this win. I believe he really needs this win. He knows how important it is. Ricky at this point can say, well, second's not bad. You know, he can be just as happy as Jeremy was last week going, man, that could have been a disaster. Second's not bad.
A 4-second lead for McGrath. Back to Davey.
Ezra, first of all, are you all right?
Totally fine. I'm once again pretty lucky with the crash that I had, but we just had a problem with the rear wheel going through the woods, locked up, and sent me for a ride.
Do you think that was what caused it? Did the chain snap before the crash?
Oh, yeah. It broke when I was going through the woods because my rear wheel totally locked up, and I just went straight over the bars. So.
Whoa, what a big break for Ezra that he wasn't hurt after having to sit out the entire season last year. What is it, that black cloud over Honda? Carmichael turning better laps than Jeremy. We'll be right back with more 250 action from Anaheim in a moment.
You know, ideas and inventions come from people in all walks of life, and most of the century's top inventions came from individuals, not companies. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? Are you interested in trying to submit your idea to companies for a good faith review and in trying to patent it as well? If so, Invention Submission Corporation has information to help you get started. ISC is America's largest inventor service firm with over 50 offices nationwide. Call this toll-free number now to see how to get this free information. The information includes forms to assure confidentiality, a form to record and date your idea, plus an informative brochure that explains how to submit your idea to companies through ISC's data bank and how to apply for a patent. Even if you only have an idea for improving an existing product, you'll want to call now for ISC's free information.
For your inventor's information, call toll-free 1-800-652-0101. That's 1-800-652-0101.
Tomorrow night at 9 on ESPN Classic. Find out why one of the greatest Cinderella stories came out of Pittsburgh and why a team of underdogs
We're going to do what we came here to do.
was transformed by the power of a fish. Fish. It's a real classic. It's the fish that saved Pittsburgh. Tomorrow night at 9, only on ESPN Classic. To get real, call 1-800-CLASSIC today.
Welcome back to Anaheim, Edison International Field. EA Sports Supercross presented by Speed Stick. Number 1, Jeremy McGrath trying to make his way through the lappers. Ricky Carmichael only 2.1 seconds behind and still closing. Ricky Carmichael's going to make a race of this yet, with still 5 laps to go in Anaheim.
I can't even, I don't even know how Carmichael's doing this. I'm the analyst. I'm supposed to know this guy is getting away with murder. He's so on the edge. The bike is just landing in the right spot, and he's not letting go of the throttle. And Jeremy's got to feel it now. Everywhere they go around the stadium, it's like a wave. These people can sense something. This is not over.
What's it like down on the track, Davey?
I tell you, everyone in the mechanics area is watching Carmichael. He's going through the whoops. You can tell he's just giving himself over to the bike. David, you're trying to figure out if he's going faster. He's just completely going for it. He's going to crash or he's going to win. You can see it in his eyes when he comes around.
Well, he certainly has proved he's in this rivalry to stay, and he's bouncing through those whoops. Jeremy McGrath is going to have a fight on his hands with 4 laps to go.
All right, let me tell you. Oh, McGrath couldn't do the triple.
Did not do the triple. Here comes Carmichael, takes the lead. Incredible. Jean Sebastian Roy. It's bar to bar. McGrath takes it back again.
That was so important for McGrath to get him right back.
The crowd is going nuts. Everybody's on their feet. Bar to bar we go again. Carmichael back and forth we go. Will we have another classic battle here in Anaheim? One we'll remember for years and years, as Ricky Carmichael now has a 1-count lead before McGrath comes battling by.
And look at Wyndham. He's still in there.
One of the most significant passers away from the leader so far was LaRocco passing McGrath after Ricky took the lead in one race. And there's Skip Norfolk, the very concerned mechanic of Jeremy McGrath.
Skip's got to be going, what is going on? It's not like McGrath is riding poorly.
Jeremy McGrath tries the inside. Ferry gets out of the way.
Barely.
Carmichael, McGrath, Wyndham, 1, 2, 3 with LaRocco in 4th. Brancata in 5th, and Tortelli's moved up to 6th, but all eyes are on number 4 and number 1.
I'm going to date myself here a little bit, but I haven't seen anything like this ever since Bob Hanna. Hanna used to do this kind of stuff, get away with murder, ride over his head, it would appear, and get away with it. Put on rides like this, but I haven't seen it in over 15 years. Carmichael is unbelievable right now.
He's pulled away to a 2-second lead on the last lap. We've only got a couple of laps left in this race. Oh, and this set the tone. Jeremy McGrath has won 8 out of 10 races here in Anaheim.
Look at the crowd. People cannot believe what they're seeing. How's the conditioning of Carmichael? Come on, the guy had to work so hard to get to second, and then he turned it up another notch.
We said it was going to be an exciting season, but I wasn't sure it was going to be this exciting. Last lap, the white flag is waving for Carmichael. Focus, keep your pace, the board says, as Carmichael goes through the mechanics area into the whoop section. Essential that he stay mistake-free because McGrath is still within striking distance. 2.3 seconds behind on the last lap.
They did their homework over there at Kawasaki. I kept going over there to talk to them, and I couldn't because they were all huddled around the bike, changing the shock, back and forth, back and forth. They got a tire that no one else can get their hands on, and it seems to be paying off.
Could this be the first time that a Cowie rider has won back-to-back Supercross since Jeff Ward in 1987? The crowd is so respectful of both these young men. Carmichael shaking his fist in the air with a finger up there on number 1. The checkers for Ricky Carmichael. He takes the undisputed lead in points for the first time in his career. Not since the first couple of rounds in 1999 has someone other than Jeremy McGrath held the points lead. And that at the time was Ezra Lusk right here in Anaheim. Chad Watts looking as cool, but he wasn't looking that cool earlier. He's the mechanic and has been throughout Ricky Carmichael's career. On the other hand, it's analyze time with Skip Norfolk, Jeremy McGrath, and Larry Brooks, the team manager.
Well, they know they got a long road ahead. If Carmichael's going to ride like that and get away with things, getting a little bit squirrely and not going down, Jeremy's going to have to dig deeper than he ever has. But if he can stay close to Ricky and force him somewhere into a mistake, somewhere down the line, which he's done every year up till now, Jeremy's not out of this by any means. But Carmichael served a huge statement here tonight, coming from behind, way behind.
Excuse me, I'm searching for a real man.
Perhaps he can be of assistance. He's so radical and extreme.
Surely he's not human.
Hey, Vern, isn't that the guy who stole your wife? What?
EA Sports, Supercross, it's in the game.
Look, it's rated E for everyone.
Look, this is a dirty fuel injector. This is a clean one. As you can see, cleaner works better. That's why I use STP fuel injector cleaner in my car. I add STP every time I change my oil. STP, it's basic car maintenance.
The whole township of Jersey came to the feast for the capture of Lord Stanley's chalice. They merrily drank their grog and cheered their chivalrous knights, but their leader, good Sir Stevens, watched prudently. For he knew that defending the great cup from men with black hearts would be a hardship equal to that of its capture.
Devils Penguins at 3, Blues Avalanche at 8:30 tonight on ESPN2.
EA Sports Supercross has been brought to you by Suzuki. During Suzuki Fest 2001, get up to $400 worth of free accessories on selected models. By Speed Stick, presenting sponsor of EA Sports Supercross. And by Honda, the company that defines performance on two wheels. Performance first.
Ricky, I think something just changed.
I tell you what, Davey, I got a terrible start, and I wanted to see if I could run him down. And, you know, I mean, I know I beat him heads up the last couple weekends, but I wanted to see what I could do from behind, and I totally proved myself. Feels great. I need to keep the momentum going, you know, stay injury-free and try to win this championship.
When we were watching you come through the pack, David Bailey invoked the name Bob Hanna. You at times look completely out of control, but you never stop moving forward. Where did you pull that from?
I don't know. I was just digging deep, Davey. I wanted that thing bad. I wanted to come from behind and win. I mean, to me, that's the most gratifying win as a racer, to catch from behind and win. And I did it. Jeremy was riding excellent, but, you know, I felt like I had the track down pat tonight.
Ricky, at what point did you think that you had a chance of catching him? When could you see him?
Probably about 8 laps to go. I seen him in sight when I was in second, and started reeling him in, and he didn't do the triple, and that was all I needed.
As we take a look at the Honda results page, Jeremy McGrath in second, Kevin Windham a hard-fought third, Mike LaRocco in fourth, and Stefan Roncada with his best finish of the year so far in fifth in his rookie 250 season. Tortelli, Way, Villeman, Ferry, Byrne, Lamson, Craig, Voss, Kyle Lewis in 14th. Let's go back down to Davey Coombs. Davey?
Wemsey, you knew the winning streak at Anaheim had to come to an end, but that one mistake's what got you.
Yeah, Davey, I felt like I was riding pretty good. Ricky was on the charge. He was coming up behind me, and, you know, I felt like I had enough to go to the end, and made a big mistake over there and went right into the face of the triple, and might have been a little different if I hadn't done that, but hats off to Ricky. He came up a long ways, and on a track that was fairly easy, and, you know, I guess I should have been a little bit more cautious of some of the bumps or something up there, but my mistake.
Ricky Carmichael earns the top spot undisputed for the first time in his career. He's going to Indianapolis with a 3-point advantage. Courageously, LaRocco moves 13 points ahead of Windham despite 2 broken bones on the top of his shift foot. Ricky Carmichael breaks the back-and-forth win cycle, taking 2 in a row. Art Ekman for David Bailey and Davey Coombs. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more information, log on to ESPN.com.
The return of Mario Lemieux continues to fuel the red-hot Pittsburgh Penguins. Not only has his play been remarkable, but the rest of the team has followed suit. The Penguins are averaging more than 4 goals per game since Mario returned to the lineup.
But no one has ever taught us how to satisfy the woman in our life every time. If only 1 out of 3 women are having orgasms and we're having them every time, something is wrong. If you were never allowed to drive a car or take driving lessons or even talk about driving a car, but on your wedding night they gave you this Maserati and they put you out on the freeway, you had a few accidents, nobody would be real surprised. We're going to teach the men how to satisfy you, the women, every time. That's the purpose of this course.
Did you see all the smiles
Yeah.
on the women's faces?
Sounds good. What you said that was so true is I'm overestimating the intelligence of this guy in being able to hear what it is that I'm saying.
I do what I know how to do, and I'm told that's not right. And the explanation